Someone asks, what's my take on mindfulness? They don't hear me speak about mindfulness. They're asking what I think about it. So mindfulness, being mindful of our experience, mindful of what I'm saying, mindful of what I'm feeling, mindful of the wind, mindful of the microphone, mindful of the body posture. If this is what we're calling mindfulness, just to be clear, then yeah, it's very beneficial. What it does is it helps you come out of thinking exclusively, where the attention is limited to thinking. So having someone become more mindful really is the attention relaxing and becoming more inclusive. It's exclusively on thoughts, and by being more mindful, now it's more inclusive of, well, the body sensations, the sounds, the smells, the sights, the five senses. So the attention is now more inclusive. The attention is less limited. It's losing its limitations. So it's very beneficial. With mindfulness, you can develop concentration. The mind becomes more one-pointed, where you're able to be more mindful of perhaps the sensations in the body, in any activity. Doesn't just need to be yoga postures. Cutting the grass, and you're mindful of the body, holding onto the lawnmower and walking, washing the car, doing dishes. Any of these activities, it seems to increase the quality of the activity because of the attention letting go of its limitations, becoming more inclusive. Therefore, you're not exclusively identified with thoughts. The experience is that there's more relaxation. There's less worry and dwelling on the past, fear, anxiety, all of these things that when we get really, what people say is stuck in our head, the mindfulness really helps us become aware of those thoughts, those feelings, become aware of our environment. So in one way, it's becoming more inclusive. Now we can go even further back. We can see mindfulness as this kind of halfway point, or this process of relaxation. The more mindful you are, the more relaxed you are. The more mindful you are, the more fulfilling this experience is. When you're mindful, you're experiencing more. The same activity of washing dishes and mopping floors and changing diapers and driving kids to school, that when you're mindful of the experience, there's a quality of that experience that you are experiencing when if you weren't mindful. So it's this relaxation of the attention, the focus becomes softened. It's not so rigid and tight and narrowed. It's now wider, more open, more relaxed, more inclusive. And it's not so differentiated. So the attention's not going to specific objects. This is taking the mindfulness practice one step further, coming back a little further, because we can be mindful of certain things like drinking tea and being mindful of the object of the teacup, the hot liquid, the smell, that experience. But now we can expand that a little further by not being so directional, you could say, not having the attention being directed at a specific object, but more inclusive. That yes, there's the tea drinking, but there's also the wind, there's also the birds, there's also some construction happening. All of that is also included. So we can come back even further. There can be even more relaxation, more expansion, more inclusion, where it's not excluding anything in this experience. And then you feel how that feels. That when the attention is not so directional and differentiated, it's this undifferentiated attention. It's this inclusive attention, that it's just simply including everything. That there's just simply the awareness of what is. And it's experiencing that. What is that like? Because it's all inclusive. It's accepting everything as it is. It's not going to certain things more so than the other. It's not saying that that bird is more special than the construction noise. It's not hearing some baby crying and saying, that's so annoying. It's not smelling the garbage and saying, that's got to go. It's just simply the awareness of what is, allowing everything to be as it is. It's this acceptance. It's the inclusion. And coming back to this, it's so full. It's full of everything. It's full of this present moment. That you're just allowing this present moment to be. So there's just simply the awareness of what is. That you're just simply being. There's no more of this doing, going to certain things, being so identified with certain objects, trying to swap out this experience for that experience, trying to change this experience for another experience, trying to push this experience away, trying to run to another experience. That has come to a rest, and there's just simply being aware of what is. That feels like all the way back. Now, the final step is being aware of the awareness, awareness of awareness, or experiencing of experiencing. And just notice that which is experiencing this experience, all experience, that which is experiencing the present moment, well, what's the experience of that? that which is aware of what is. Well, are you aware of awareness itself? Are you experiencing itself? What is experiencing all of this? What is aware of all of this? So now this is going right to the back, you could say, if we are speaking about it like this, foreground and a background, that this foreground experience is being experienced by the background experiencing. That this background awareness, the awareness of this and that, the awareness of all of this, well, are you aware of it? What happens is that awareness that seems to be in the background now is brought to the foreground. Now you become aware of it. Oh, it was always here. It was just silent and still in the background. I didn't notice it. I wasn't aware of it. I'm just realizing that it's always here. That which is experiencing this experience. Yeah, it's always been present. In the midst of all of these experiences, there is experiencing. In between experience 1 and experience 2, well, there's simply experiencing. The experiences are coming and going, but experiencing is ever present. Now what's that experience like? So there's an initial recognition, and now there's more of this exploration of that, which is yourself. You're exploring yourself. So to relate it to the mindfulness, yeah, it's good because someone that's very, I say someone, but you'll see the truth in that is that there's this strong identification with thinking typically. This limited identification, this limitation. The attention is limited to just the thoughts. So just then by being mindful, it's more of a stepping out of thinking. Oh yeah, there's the body. There's sensations, of course. There's some sounds, birds, the wind, some smells, tastes. So now you are including the 5 other senses. And then we go back a little further, and now it's now not giving any importance to certain things. Of course, I'm aware of my hands, but I'm aware of more than just my hands. So you're not differentiating, you're not directing that attention to certain things. The attention relaxes even more. The focus is not so focused on one thing over another. The focus softens. There's this feeling of relaxing back to what feels like, okay, you can't go any further. You're all the way back. It feels like you're almost slammed all the way back, and there's just what is. And this is now this just being with what is. There's what is, this undifferentiated experience, and there's the experiencing of it. but what's the experience of experiencing itself? What's the experience of awareness itself? What's the experience of knowing itself? Just using these words simultaneous or synonymously, whatever one resonates. Great. So in that sense, it's now there's this experience, you could say, where now this is what you are more interested in. Now it's getting to know that which is aware of everything else. Well, now you want to know that. This is what's knowing all of the objects, but this is the subject that is knowing all the objects. Well, now I want to know the subject. Self-realization. This is the self. So, in that sense, if we can say that the mindfulness is part of the journey back, part of the journey inward, a technique to pull one out of being identified with thoughts exclusively, to help one relax attention, then yeah, it's very beneficial. It's very beneficial. But it's about knowing that there's, you could say, some more relaxation that can happen. There's some more stepping back. If this is seen to be the end all, and now we're just aware of, I'm drinking tea, or I'm so mindful because I'm drinking tea. I'm so mindful of my hands on the steering wheel. I'm so mindful of my butt in the chair. This is good. But if we kind of bring in the thinking and we're always labeling what we're mindful of, then it's not that helpful. If we are so exclusive on what we are mindful of, it's not that helpful. Sure, we'll notice a decrease in thinking somewhat, but it's really seeing it as this kind of halfway, that there's still some more. There's still some more coming back, that even the mindfulness is something that you are doing, but we have to drop that and just simply be. And then by simply being, then we become aware of the being, that you are being, and now you are aware of yourself. You are aware of being. You are being aware of yourself. This is self-realization. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.